Everyone. So I wanted to show you what you would receive if you purchase my 7th grade math essential questions. Now, these questions include an entire year of content. There is 47 pages of 7th grade standards. So let's take a look. There are two ways that you can implement my resource into your classroom. Here I have Google Slides and I also have a PowerPoint. You can decide which one is best for your classroom. Now I want to show you how it's set up. It already is very student friendly because I have added text boxes and nothing else can be shifted. So here I'm looking at the PowerPoint and this is the table of contents and I have color coded all the standards. As you can see, nothing's shifting. Same thing with the continued table of contents, nothing shifts. Now, if I go to my first page, you can see that I have text boxes. That is the only thing that's going to shift. Nothing else moves. Now, students are going to type in their answers. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Google Slides and then talk about that so you can see. So let's look at the Google Slides. Okay, so here I'm in my Google Slides, and it's the same thing like the PowerPoint. Nothing shifts. You can see nothing moves. And so if I go to my first slide of information, I can see that it's number sense, and I have these color-coded. So 7.NS number sense. My question is, how do we know when the sum of two integers is positive, negative, or zero? Each question is going to come with some vocabulary. So students are going to have to define some vocabulary words. Then it comes with research. What did you learn? Work it out, simplify for these problems, and then construction. Create your own problem, then solve it. Okay. So what students are going to do is anytime they see a red question mark means that they can write in there. So they can type. It's a text box. So what I would do is I would define the vocabulary term by looking through notes, class notes, or researching online. And then students can just type in here. So I'm going to put an integer is ... And students will, again, give me the vocab. Now, if this is too big and they can't fit all the information, they will highlight it and then they can change the size of it. So if they need it to be a little bit smaller, they can do that, okay? So that's for the vocab words. Now, the research is that students are going to research the question. I want students to answer the question. And I tell my students I want it to be a very good research. So I want them to fill up this box right here. Don't give me one sentence. I want the question to be answered, okay? Next one is work it out. Students can fill in their answers. So -7 plus 2, they will go in there and they'll say, oh, well, I know that is 2. And then they'll go on, after solving all these problems, they'll go on to creating their own problem. Now, there's a way that students can insert a picture so that they don't have to type. If they don't want this text box here, they can get rid of it by deleting it, and then they can type, or I'm sorry, they can insert a picture. So I'm going to actually show you, I'm going to put that one back, but I'm going to show you how to insert a picture, because what I have my students do is that they will go through all of these problems, and if there's ones where they need to show their work, for example, like this one, I want to see how students solved it. So I actually solved one of these. Let me go down and see. Actually, no. I solved this one. Okay, so I solved this one for problem number 1. So I know what the tip is and I know what the bill is, and I'm going to fill that in, but I want my teacher to see my work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to do Image, Upload from Computer. I'm going to upload my work. So you can see that I did my work. I see that the tip was 10.55 and my bill was 63.30. Okay, so I will type in that information. I will take my picture and I will make it very small and put it to the side. And my teacher knows, because I've told my students, so I'm acting like the student, my teacher knows that they can look at that picture by taking it and dragging it bigger and then looking at it and then putting it back so that they can see my work. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the essential questions. If you go through, if I go through real quick, you can see I basically have an entire year's worth of concepts. So the next one is on opposite absolute value. We're looking at multiplying, dividing integers, least common multiple, greatest common factor. We're also getting into adding, subtracting, fractions, multiplying, dividing. What's the difference between a rate and ratio? How do I find unit rate? Now we're looking into proportional relationships, and I go over a graph, a table, decimals, fractions, percents, markup, markdown, sales tax, tip, that's what the one I just went over, commission, percent of change, simple interest, combining like terms, distributed property, one-step equations. We're first looking at the addition or subtraction of them, and then we go into multiplication, fractions. We look at two-step equations and then two-step equations with fractions, inequalities. Now, these students can just move the inequalities around. So if they need to, once they solve it, they can go ahead and move their graph. And if I keep going, we have constructing triangles with angle measures, side measures, and then we're looking at missing angles, area of a rectangle, triangle, area of a circle, circumference, similar figures, scale drawings, volume, more volume. We're looking at surface area using nets, mean, median, mode, and range, MAD, mean absolute deviation, line plots, histograms. And this is pretty cool too, because I have this set up to where students can just move them. So for example, here they need to make a line plot. They will take the dot at 3 and they will move it over. And then they will go on to the next one, 0. And they can move this one over. And so it's just very, very student friendly to where it's set up for students. So let's say I get my line plot done, then I can come down here to the histogram, and then I can look at, I have 1, 2 zeros. So I'm going to bring this up to 2 and then do the same with 1, 2, 3, so on. Okay, so it's very, very student friendly. Next one, box and whisker plots. They get to move the box plot around to where they need it to be. And then likelihood. And again, this is another one where students are going to be moving around the vocab and seeing, where it needs to go. Okay, that's pretty much it. If you have questions, please let me know. And thank you so much for watching my video. Bye.